So I want to introduce you to a character you might just recognize, even if you've never officially met him. He's right at the heart of modern economics, and we've got a name for him, Grandpa Debt. Now, he's charming, he's generous, and he's about to leave all of us with a really, really expensive problem.
Think about it. Is there someone in your life who seems to have this endless supply of fun and gifts, but you never quite see the bill? Well, on a national scale, we all have this relative. And this, right here, is Grandpa Debt in a nutshell. He is the life of the party today. I mean, he funds these spectacular celebrations, builds impressive projects, and makes absolutely sure everyone is happy right now. But here's the catch. The tab for all this fun, yeah, it's not paid by him. It's sent to a generation that isn't even here yet. So you might be asking, how does he get away with it? Well, Grandpa Debt has a favorite tool. It's kind of like a magic wand that politicians find. Well, let's just say they find it absolutely irresistible.
Okay, picture this. You're a politician and you need money for some new project. You've really only got two choices. Option one, you raise taxes. That's immediately unpopular, right? People feel it in their pockets today and they might just vote you out of office. Or option two, you borrow the money. Now, everyone gets the benefits right now, and the pain of paying for it all gets pushed way, way into the future. Which path do you think gets you reelected? It's pretty clear.
And that is the core of its appeal. Debt lets politicians perform this kind of time travel. They can just pull all the good stuff, the roads, services, social programs into the present, which makes voters happy. And in the meantime, the bill for all of it, it gets launched into the future for someone else to deal with. And the actual tool for this magic, it's surprisingly simple. It's called a government bond. And really, it's just an IOU from the government. So investors, banks, even other countries, they buy these bonds, and that gives the government cash today. In exchange, the government promises to pay them back the original amount plus interest at some later date. Simple as that. So it all boils down to this simple three-step process. First, the government sells that promise, that bond. Second, we, the people living right now, we get to enjoy all the cool things that money buys. But third, when that IOU comes due in 10, 20, or even 30 years, who pays it back? Well, it's the taxpayers of the future, our kids and our grandkids. They're the ones who will be working to pay for a party they never even attended. But that bill from the future, it's not just a number on a page. Oh no, it arrives with some very serious consequences, and it casts these long, dark shadows over the economy our kids are going to inherit. We can really break down the damage into three main categories. Just think of them as the destructive shadows cast by Grandpa Debt's massive spending spree. Okay, the first shadow is something called the crowding out effect. See, when a government issues tons and tons of these super safe bonds, it basically sucks up all the available investment money like a vacuum cleaner. This is money that could have gone into building a new factory, or funding a tech startup, or developing some incredible new innovations. But instead, it gets diverted to fund government spending. And what that does is it starves the private sector, leaving the next generation with an economy that's less productive and way less innovative. Now, the second shadow is the inflation trap. When a debt gets so massive that you can't possibly pay it off with taxes, governments have another trick up their sleeve. They can just print more money. This devalues the currency, which makes the old debt cheaper to pay back. But for regular people, it is a total disaster. It's a hidden tax that silently just eats away at the savings and the purchasing power of the next generation. And you know who it hits the hardest? The poorest. And the third shadow? A complete and total loss of flexibility. What happens when a real crisis hits? A government that's already buried in debt has no room to maneuver. I mean, think about the next pandemic, or a natural disaster, or a major war. With the national credit card already maxed out by Grandpa Debt, the future generation is going to find that the emergency funds have already been spent, leaving them dangerously exposed. This whole thing goes way beyond economics. It gets to the very heart of the issue. This isn't just bad accounting, it's a profound ethical problem. What we have here is a contract where one side has all the power and the other side has no voice at all. This quote, it really says it all, doesn't it? We are, in effect, levying taxes on people who cannot vote, people who cannot protest, who have absolutely zero say in the decisions being made right now. It is a violation of a core democratic principle: no taxation without representation. And this just lays the imbalance completely bare. On one side, you've got us, the present generation. We get the benefits and we hold all the voting power to approve it. But on the other side, the future generation. They get the bill and they have zero power. They can't object, they can't negotiate, they can't vote no. This contract is being signed on their behalf, completely without their consent.
So why do we let this happen? Well, it's a psychological blind spot we all have. The victims are abstract and they're faceless because, well, they don't exist yet. And this makes the cost feel distant and invisible, and it allows Grandpa Debt to just keep writing checks without anyone feeling any immediate guilt or consequence. It's a pretty grim picture, I know. But are these economic chains unbreakable? Or is there a way to actually confront Grandpa Debt and change the legacy we're leaving behind? So, what is the path forward? First, radical transparency. Just imagine if every single budget proposal came with a clear price tag showing the amount of debt being added per unborn child, making that invisible cost visible. That is a powerful first step. And second, we have to start distinguishing between different types of debt. And this brings us to a really crucial distinction. Not all debt is bad. Borrowing to invest in things that will generate future wealth. I'm talking about education, scientific research, truly productive infrastructure. That kind of debt can actually pay for itself. That's an investment in the future. But borrowing just to fund today's consumption, that's a weapon aimed directly at the next generation's prosperity. So in the end, it all comes down to this question. It's the one we have to ask ourselves as voters, as citizens, as the current guardians of the economy. When we're gone, what are our children going to find? Will it be a foundation for their own success, or just the bill for ours?